The chair recognizes the honorable member for Killarney.
All right. Don't start that clock, Mr. Deputy, I just want to, while I'm on my feet, before the clock starts, I want to advise the clerk that at the 5-minute interval, give me a warning, because I may have to shift, because there's something I want to say at the end that would show this incompetent, irresponsible lack of care in government, what they are doing to people. Y'all stay tuned, because I know you're shocked. Mr. Deputy, I rise on behalf of the great constituency of Killarney to make my contribution to this mid-year budget debate. And the mid-year review was a creation of an F&M government. And some may recall that some in the PLP thought that this review was an unnecessary exercise. But given the serious problems with this budget and the lack of transparency by the Davis administration, the country can now see the wisdom in this review. The Bahamian people, Mr. Deputy, have gotten to know the real nature of the so-called New Day PLP. And 2.5 years ago, only about 40% of eligible voters voted for the PLP with certain expectations. These hopes, however, were dashed early on when the PLP imposed the heartless breadbasket tax on the foods and medicines most Bahamians eat and use. And the greedy nature of the PLP was further revealed as the party budgeted tens of millions of dollars per year for its high-paid consultants. And the government messed up the BPL fuel hedge the F&M left in place. This led, Mr. Deputy, to skyrocketing electricity bills for both homes and businesses. Then there is the luxury travel. The Prime Minister started touring the world in grand and unprecedented fashion at the taxpayers' expense. He took trip after trip after trip all over the place, riding up front in first class and staying in expensive luxury suites. In his mid-year statement, the Prime Minister, who is Minister of Finance, revealed that the government's net deficit for the first half of this fiscal year was $258.7 million. This exceeded their budget forecast by $127.6 million. And the New Day administration is on a wild spending spree. In the last budget debate, the PLP tried to convince us that they would spend less on travel this fiscal year. Now we see they're grabbing more money to feed the Prime Minister's jet-setting lifestyle and expensive habits. The New Day administration is adding $1.64 million more for travel for the office of the Prime Minister. There are curious numbers concerning the Prime Minister's extravagant travel. Mr. Deputy, I must say that all information I give, at the end, I will table the relevant documents, backup documents. As noted in Nassau Guardian's story on February 22nd, 2024, I quote, "There was a $150,000 allocation dated October 19th, 2023 for Prime Minister and delegation travel to Orlando, Chicago, and Miami, Florida. There was also a $169,000 allocation on October 19th, 2023 for Prime Minister and delegation travel to Orlando, Chicago, and Miami, Florida. These two allocations amount to $315,000. The question being asked, were all of these trips, all of these expenses for just one trip? Then there was a $30,000 allocation dated October 19th, 2023 for incidental expenses for the Prime Minister and delegation for travel expenses outside the Bahamas. Was this additional $30,000 for the same trip? If so, did this one trip alone cost a shocking and whopping $349,000? Mr. Deputy goes on, there was a $50,000 allocation dated September 13th, 2023 for Prime Minister's travel to various family islands. There was another $50,000 allocation dated November 29th, 2023 for Prime Minister and delegation travel to the family island. Another allocation of $50,000 was dated December 4th, 2023 for per diem and accommodations for Prime Minister and delegation travel to the family islands. And then there was $200,000 for the Prime Minister and delegation to travel to Orlando on just one occasion. These are just some of the outrageous disclosures regarding the Prime Minister's travel. Bahamians, Mr. Deputy, are shocked and disgusted. They didn't think anyone could spend that much just to go to the family islands or on simple trips to the United States. The $150,000 they spent on family island travel in 6 months works out, and I want all Bahamians to listen to me carefully, the expenditure. This works out to $25,000 per month, the Prime Minister's expenses just to the family islands. Now, Mr. Deputy, while the Prime Minister is spending $25,000 per month, the staff at ZNS have lost their insurance because the government has not paid the insurance since August of last year. Individuals within that corporation is ill, and if they present themselves to physicians, they must pay out of their pockets. Today, as I speak, there are individuals who have chronic disorders, who need serious medical care, and Mr. Deputy, the medical care and the costs are subjecting these individuals to bankruptcy because you did not carry on the cost of the insurance. It is not fair. It is not fair. And therefore, the bills that the staff at ZNS incur should be paid for by the government, not the individuals, because it's your irresponsibility that caused the insurance not to be paid since October of last year. Correct it. Which is more important, individual's life or the Prime Minister's travel? Which is more important? To me, life is more important. Fix it. Is the Prime Minister traveling to the family islands by way of New York? If you're spending $25,000 a month, you must be going to New York, Nassau, New York, then Eleuthera, or wherever. This Prime Minister, Mr. Deputy, is out of control. Why are these travel delegations so big? This is, as Bahamians would say, giddy spending of the people's money flying all over the world. The Prime Minister's, I withdraw. I withdraw, sit.
The chair recognizes the honorable member for Freetown.
Mr. Speaker, you know, the actual member for